It's three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
Fair warning, it is cut day in the NFL, and we do have an agent on the show, Jeremiah Sirles. So if it's one of those shows where if the phone rings and he needs to do agent things, then he will just go away, but we will keep the show and the train moving.
The most stressful days of the year, man. I mean, from this side, I can remember it as a player, though, too. Like, these were the worst 3 days of the entire year, right? There's no worse feeling than being told you're not good enough, right? And I only got cut one time. Like, I truly only got cut one time, and I was in Carolina, and it was because I was hurt, right? But even then, it was like, man, this really sucks. Like, I can remember I was so pissed when I got cut from Carolina. I got in my truck and drove 18 hours straight home to Lincoln. Like, did not stop. 18 hours straight. Like, just so pissed off. I mean, I can remember, I won't say his name, but I can remember when I was with the Vikings, we practiced on cut day. Like, we had practice in the morning with the full 75.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you do
full
that?
75. No, it's not you. I'm not talking about you.
No, I know, but like,
Full
what
75.
a terrible fucking
But
memory.
like, dude, we practiced, and then I can remember me and my buddy, he was another lineman. We were like, dude, let's shower and get the fuck out of here. Like, let's just get out of here. So we jump in the shower. We're all of a sudden, some guy pokes his head and like, hey, what's your name? I'm not gonna say his name. Coach wants to see you. Go ahead and bring your playbook when you're done showering. And I looked over at him, and he had a face full of soap because he was washing his hair. And I just remember he just turned the shower to cold and just stared into it.
Oh,
I was just staring. I was like, oh, I'll call you later, buddy. I'm sorry.
terrible.
I'm still going to get out of here. Like,
Anybody
dude,
that makes you come in on cut day is a terrible person.
dude, watching guys throw like trash bags, like, because they literally just hand you a giant black trash bag and they're like, throw all your shit in there, man. And you're just like, dude, it's the worst day of the year.
do guys get cut like in 2024? Does everyone get cut face to face, or do they just?
Yes. But it's
that
usually
necessary?
It's a text that says, "Hey, coach wants to see you. Bring your iPad." Yeah. Like, that is the text.
Oh, the
that you
iPad.
get.
Well, they can brick it remotely, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, but that's the sign you're getting cut. The coach said he wants to see your iPad. Carmi, close that door. I know. It's terrible. Yeah, anybody that makes the whole team come in on cut day is just absolutely the worst. Like, dude, you just feel so bad for those guys, too, especially the ones that you know are going to get cut. You're like, oh, man, I'm really sorry. And
Yeah, how many on a 90-man roster? There's always like 10 that definitely could go either way. How many guys? Because there's definitely guys that like you know you're getting cut.
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
It was so different when we played. Like, you went from 90 to 75,
right,
and then played that last preseason game. So you had a pretty good idea at that point. You were like, okay, well, 10 of us are making the practice squad, right? So there's 63. So there's really only 12 other guys that are getting cut, right? And so that was more stressful for me than anything when I was in that situation, because you're like, dude, am I one of the 10? Am I one of the 12? Like, like, it made that fourth preseason game so important. Like, you were just like, dude, I'm fighting for my life out here right now.
Is it better or worse that they just do all the cuts on one day now? Would you?
I
would
think
you
it
rather
depends
have
on
the
who you
wave?
ask, because like if you're me and you're an old vet, you want as many guys there as possible, because that means I don't have to do shit that last week. But the minute you cut it down to 75, you're putting a lot of pressure on like 22 guys, because the starters are like, I'm not playing this game. And it's great because, as we see now, like as a trainer and as an agent, you want as many reps as you can for your young guys. And so now losing that game, we're already like, God, we lost a game. Fuck. Like, you can't get back bad film. All you can do is put out more good film. And when they take a whole game away, you're like, boy, you're really limiting these chances of some of these young players to go out and do anything, especially when like something will happen in the game and the coaches will be like, all right, you're going to go in the second quarter. And then in the third, you're like, am I going in? They're like, no. Total diversion of plan. Like, we're not going to play. It's a lot. And it's crazy when you're going through it as a young guy, because you don't know anything. And that's what the hardest part is. Like, you don't know what the next minute's going to bring. You don't know if this coach is going to lose his mind. You don't know if you're getting cut. Like,
Well, the worst part is they
terrible.
don't call you to tell you made the team.
No.
Like, you just show up to work the next day. Like, I have a couple clients that are like, hey, my phone hasn't rang. What's that mean? I go, no news is good news.
It's great
Just
news.
sit around.
That's kind of wild, because if
Like,
you're
yeah,
oh, yeah,
you're
it's
on
great.
the
It's
fence,
the best.
man,
Dude, you don't know. You just sit there and you stare at your phone and you're like, please don't ring, please don't ring, please don't ring, please don't ring. Like,
Then
dude,
your
I
mom
can
calls
remember
and she's
after-
like, "What's the news?"
yeah,
And
what's
you're like,
going on? It's like, don't talk to me.
Scared the
I
shit
can
out of me.
remember- I can remember after the 4th preseason game, like I would not sleep for like 2 days. Like you're just so stressed. Like the stress level is just so high and your anxiety level is just so high and you're just like, okay, I did everything I can do. Now it's just time to sit and wait. Like it is brutal, man.
And there's nothing else you can do. Like you're like, maybe I should text the coach. No, don't do that. And then you're like, maybe I should call my agent. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to.
It's like maybe I
like
should
you
go
really
get,
just
maybe
want
I
to
should
go
go
into
get a
the
workout. Like maybe you should see me. In there.
It's a lot of working
I shouldn't
out.
be in the building. I shouldn't be in the building. Like I remember I went to the hotel lobby and just like walked on the treadmill for like 2 hours. Like just like raw dog too.
Your
no
mind
music.
is
Like no music, nothing. Just hotel lobby music. Just
Have you guys seen the trend? The new
Yeah,
trend,
I'm
people
gonna
are
sit in
raw
a plane.
dogging rides.
I'd rather pull the emergency
Dude.
exit door and jump.
I
out
saw
of the
some guy did 16 hours of staring at that, and I was like, why? Who would fucking torture themselves that long?
Because Gen Z is
No, that's stupid. That's so stupid. I'm sorry, but yeah, no,
Dude,
there's nothing
tell me
you
that's
can
not
do.
something one of Johnny's friends would do.
I can see half of them doing it.
It's either
On the
Gen Z-
reg, just
it's
staring at a screen with nothing on it. They do that on the reg, dude.
It's either Gen Z or it's boomers that can't figure out the technology, so they just sit there in their
just gonna
couch.
watch
touching-
the
they're
plane
touching the-
go
they're
over
like-
Omaha.
They're like, I thought this was a touch screen. Is this a touch screen? Why isn't it working?
We're over Bisbee.
But yeah, so officially the
So
worst
cut
few
day.
days in the NFL.
Oh,
So
the
we'll
worst.
see what happens here. We're going to call this part 1 of our NFL preview because I'm guessing we'll have
go.
some fun stuff for
Yes.
actual week 1 next week. But
So back, baby.
we are less than
We're so close. We're so
less
close.
than 2 weeks away from NFL regular season football. So here's what we're going to do on this show.
Hit me.
All 3 of us are going to pick the 14 playoff teams. Mm-hmm. We're going to pick the Super Bowl matchup and winner. Mm-hmm. We're going to pick the 2024 NFL MVP. And then if we have time, we'll do a boldest prediction. If we don't, we'll save that for next week. We'll also do some mics. We'll do some dumb football questions. Here we go. Let's start with the 14 playoff teams, division winners and wild cards in both conferences. Jay, you start.
All right, I'll start. So, coming out of the NFC North, the Detroit Lions. Still theirs to win it all. Still theirs to go.
We're in agreement on that.
Got the
Total
Lions.
agreement. Yep.
Coming out of the NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons.
We're in
I have the
agreement on
Atlanta Falcons winning the NFC South, right? Tampa's going to give them a run.
Agreed.
I think Tampa's going to give them a run, but I think Kirk Cousins is going to do Kirk Cousins things during the regular season. He's going to get them there.
What if it's
Out of the
not Kirk?
East,
What? Never mind.
It's Kirk,
Go ahead.
you idiot.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
out of
Bold
the
prediction.
East, I have Philly. I have
Oh,
I have
we're in
Philly
agreement
coming,
again.
I have Philly
Yes.
coming out of the East, and then out of the West, I have San Fran. Right, so I have those are my division winners.
Who is
I know.
We didn't agree on that. I didn't agree
Lions,
on that.
Atlanta, Philly, San Fran. Those are my division winners out of the NFC.
Okay.
Now, in no order, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ordering in my wild cards here. I have L.A.,
Yep.
Dallas, and Green Bay. Those are my 3 wild card spots coming out of the NFC. Okay, switching over to the AFC. Got out of the North. I got Baltimore.
Yeah, so
think-
did I.
dude. I am so excited to
Derrick
see
Henry?
Derrick Henry
Yep.
run
Knew it.
behind this Baltimore offensive line.
Yes.
Like they're the biggest offensive line
Rush.
in the NFL, and you just gave them the largest human at running back in the NFL. Like that's going to be. And first of all, before I go forward here, we lost a legend in the
Oh
O-line
my God.
community.
How could we forget?
Joe DeLisandris, one of my
did.
favorite coaches. I feel like I owe him my career. He brought me in as a rookie, coached me up, always was great to me. I was going back reading through some of my text messages I had from him. Like he would check in on me and my wife, and he sat down with Booney and I every year at the combine, and he touched so many lives. And I mean, he died just this past couple days ago. So I mean,
Yeah.
O-line absolute legend. So sad
Huge.
for him.
Huge loss.
And his family. But I will say this: he was extremely faith-based. He lost his wife last year after battling a bunch of brain issues. So I know he's sitting up there with his wife and with his father. So super pumped, glad that.
Oh, no, man.
Like
No.
Yeah.
I'm pumped that he didn't suffer and that he's there. But I mean, absolute stud there. And I think Baltimore's going to play a lot for him this year too. So
Agreed.
Baltimore coming out of the North.
Yep.
Out of the South, it's Houston's division, man. It's Houston's division.
We're in agreement.
Far and away, right? And here's where y'all are going to disagree with me. The AFC East.
Jets.
Jets. Jets.
Yeah,
I'm all aboard it, man.
We got it.
I'm
we
all
got it.
aboard
The 50-year-old with one
I'm
leg.
all
We
aboard
got
it.
it.
Out of the West, obviously Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
Right, Kansas City's winning the West, and then wild card order again. I got Miami, I got the Bengals, and I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. So those are my 14 playoff teams that I have coming out into January of next year.
All right,
love it.
we'll get to your Super Bowl matchup here.
Yep.
We'll go Alex next, then we'll go
Yep.
me, and then we can hash out and debate among the three of us here.
No, you're good. I had the same thing Jay had pretty much for all the conference winners. Atlanta, to me, just narrowed it out with Tampa. Like, I love what Tampa's doing, but I think Atlanta's going to win. I had them both down, and I scratched off Tampa like 20 minutes before the show. Philly, got it. Green Bay, Detroit. I think the Rams are actually going to win the West. We can talk about why I think so. And I also, this is what I told you guys both, that my 7 seeds, and I'm not saying that they're going to be the 7 seed, but like the last team that I wanted in kind of came down to 2 teams each. And so I think you had, who'd you have for your last NFC team?
Dallas.
That's right.
Dallas.
So
you have Rams.
I'm
Dallas.
you already brought this up to my opinion. My bold take this year, Dallas doesn't make it. I think it's going to either be Seattle, because I don't know if you watched that. Dude, I know what you're thinking, and I've thought that for a long time.
Buddy.
But I watched them come out this week. Just wait. DK's
a savage.
And guess who's starting to throw fucking dimes? And I'm not even kidding you. And I mean fucking dimes. And I sit there and I go, dude, that's a tough division. And if you're getting your ass kicked in your own division, but you can go outside your division and beat the fuck out of everybody else, like, you're a reigning division. I already think the Rams are fucking studs, right? Like, they got pieces everywhere. The Puka Nacua injury could be a little harmful, but at the same time, you got Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
Hold
what's
on,
his current status?
real quick. So you're saying that LA wins the division?
Yeah, San Fran
Seattle.
gets in.
So you have 3 teams getting in out of the NFC West.
Yeah, well, I told you Dallas
happens.
doesn't get in.
It
Yeah,
happens.
it happens. I mean, now, Doug, here's my problem with San Fran, and this is where I think you're crazy. You still don't have a fucking left tackle, and you still don't have a receiver, Brody. And by the way, your running back's hurt. And
Christian
by the
will be
way,
fine.
okay, history says not. But 2, your left tackle came out today and said, hey, by the way, I'm not coming back until you pay me more. And now that's becoming a problem. Like, I thought it was a joke. I just don't want to do camp. I'll say it's a holdout and I'll come back later. Like, now he's like, no, just in case you forgot, I'm being for real. Like, these things scare me because I've gone through them, and then all of a sudden I look and I go, how long is it going to take that team to get back on their feet? That could be trouble. I get it. You got one of the best defenses in the world, but if your quarterback's getting fucking filleted like he was the last preseason game when I saw it, and even the announcers were like, this dude's been hit more in one game than all last season. It's because your left tackle wasn't there. Like, all of a sudden these become problems that show up in a big, big way. So I'm telling you, San Fran, if they don't fix these problems, like pay that motherfucker, both of them, they're going to be looking at way bigger issues. So, yeah, I get them sneaking in, but you know what? Here's my other problem. The other team I want to go, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Chicago. Go into the playoffs.
Wow, so you have
Let's
Packers out.
fucking go.
Packers out.
No, Green Bay's in. I'm saying Seattle's out. Because I said it was either between
7 teams.
No, I know. I said it was between Seattle and Chicago.
But Seattle's out, just to be clear.
Yeah,
Seattle's out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frisco narrowly makes it.
You just
stumped
jerked
for
off
Seattle.
Seattle for
Yeah,
like
dude.
4 minutes.
I know. This is how I make decisions. And then I sit back and I go, wait, Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet.
Your
Yeah,
brain
fuck
is a
it, no.
fascinating place.
It's amazing. You should come in here sometime. But now listen, we're going to go to the other side, the AFC, and this is where we're going to get into a fight. And I know a fight's
I
coming.
just feel bad
Fight's
for
coming.
Seattle, man. Seattle's like, what?
Why?
Blue
I
ball.
fucking
you
love
just were like,
Seattle.
yeah, and then you're like, but they don't get it.
I love you. I love all of you. All right, anyways, here we go. I had the Baltimore thing, and I agree with you, Joey D, one of the sweetest, nicest guys in the world. And I had them winning the division. I had Houston definitely winning the division. I have them winning the Super Bowl, so let's get to it. KC, for sure. Here's where we're going to argue, and don't get mad at me. Your JETSSSS is about to be fucking BUFFALO. Because I think Josh Allen's going to fucking be a stud this year. I know.
I know. Trust me, I was back and forth on Buffalo, dude.
Oh,
I
I'm not.
I
I
really
know
worry
what that
about their
dude does.
defense. I worry about their defense, man.
I know. I worry about a 50-year-old with one leg. Believe me, I'm wondering what's more worrisome in this problem. That's why I have Buffalo winning it. Miami definitely gets in. Cincinnati gets in. Here's where you're going to kill me. I'm sorry, your Jaguars. They just don't have it, dude. They don't have it. I'm sorry. And I'm actually going to give this one to Denver.
Oh, I love this. Oh, my God.
Bo Nix?
I almost did this.
I'm going.
Oh, stop,
Hey,
guys.
I almost
You look
did
at
this,
you.
man.
You're a hater. You put the fucking Jaguars in only because they paid their quarterback $55 million. That is
No,
bullshit.
because when Trevor Lawrence was healthy last year, they were a force to be reckoned with. Like
Yeah.
they
Once
did.
again, you have not shown me that you can keep him fucking
And Bo
healthy.
Nix has, and Bo Nix has shown you that he can do
I'm
it.
just saying, I'm excited
his
about the
1.9
dynamic
yards per
relationship.
completion.
You can't get mad at me because I see the potential here, and I get super excited. Well, let me guess. Is your guy going to walk to the locker room again, but then show up in the fourth quarter totally fine? Dude, what are you talking about? Your old line has yet to keep your quarterback healthy. I'm over here going, we're on a new plan. Water under the bridge, baby. Let's go. Rookie quarterback. Stud.
All right. I'll throw mine out, and then
right.
we can debate some of these fringes here.
By the way,
You
my
guys-
other team was going to be the Chargers. I'm sorry. But yeah.
Dude, get your Homer
I
pants.
I
off.
know. I can't get out of
They
my
are
own way
a
with that.
disaster.
I can't get out of my own way with that.
They are a disaster.
I quickly shot myself and said, "Did you see the preseason? I think they lost a game 4-14." I was like, "That's not even possible."
Dude, it is. I want so bad to put the Chargers in. Just
I did.
The,
I'm sorry.
the Harbaugh
Look,
effect, man.
They were here and they got X'd. Sorry.
Oh my God. Okay, let me. All right, I'll start in the NFC. You guys, you got pretty good job. You guys, not quite 100% correct. I will give you what is 100%
Here comes the
correct
elite
here, okay?
football mind.
Here we
That's right,
go.
old Macadac. That's right.
Washington's
So,
going to show up in here.
He's got the
well,
Vikings
dude.
winning the division.
the whole thing.
I
Hear
will
me
say
out.
this about
Hear me out.
Washington, okay?
Sam Darnold.
I think Washington is feisty, and I was looking for a shakeup in that division, but it's kind of hard. So NFC division winners: Eagles. They got
Yep.
weapons. I know
Yep.
things are the vibes are weird. They lost a couple key
Saquon.
leaders.
Dude, Saquon's gonna be a monster behind that
They've
O-line.
got receivers like
Oh,
they've-
yeah.
they should
They're studs.
should be able to get it back on track. I don't think they are a Super Bowl contender necessarily, but they should be able to win that division.
Let's
So
put it this
Eagles-
way: if they don't make the playoffs, Sirianni's for sure fired. Like you're fucking fired.
Yes, because he's
Especially
not
with
calling
all
plays
the
now,
weapons
right?
that you
Yeah.
have. You are
Step
fucking
one
loaded.
is strip
Yeah.
play
Oh, yeah.
calling. Step
Right.
two, fired. Right.
Yep.
Okay. This is where we start to fight. I love the Lions. Love the Lions.
Don't do this,
They
Mackie.
They
Don't.
are the hunted.
You're so stupid.
They are the hunted in 2024.
So you got the Packers going.
I've got the
Sure
Packers winning the division. Oh God. Those two teams are both playoff bound. Spoiler alert for my
Yes.
wild card.
guaranteed. Yeah.
But dude, the way if we get a full season of that Jordan Love and what they did to the Cowboys in the playoffs, Matt LaFleur, even without Aaron Rodgers and with like a broken 38-year-old Aaron Rodgers, has shown that he can coach offense. And
Oh, yeah.
they've got talent.
That I agree with.
They got a
I
bunch
agree
of
with that.
really good receivers. They might get one to pop as a number one at some point here. So Packers win the division. I've got the Rams winning the NFC West.
You're welcome.
Dude, I love how Sean McVay, like 2
Low
years
key,
ago,
right?
should I go into broadcasting? Should I? I'll ride out the storm for 1 year, and now they're just back. 10, 11 wins.
Dude,
If
I
you look
worry-
at their roster
I-
right now, they're fucking insane.
I will say this: I worry slightly more about Matt Stafford staying healthy than I do Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I mean, that's a for sure. I would agree with that. But here's my problem.
I worry
I
about
think
Matt's head.
Stafford. No, I think Stafford's tougher than Aaron Rodgers. So you can kind of hit him a little bit. I think if you get near Aaron Rodgers this year, dude, you're in trouble. Like that's
Do you
going to
see-
be.
Do you see those veneers he had too?
I'm just
those,
saying.
Those
I'm just
veneers
saying.
Stafford had, those things were shining.
And hey, when you put the Rams on paper, you're like, wow,
Dude, the Rams on paper look very good.
bro.
And, dude,
McVay's brain.
People, the other thing too is Sean McVay, in a good way, I think his ego is. Think about the last couple years, the Kyle Shanahan love and Andy Reid, and Sean McVay's sitting here thinking, wait, I'm the best coach in the NFL. Whether that's true or not, we can debate. But he wants to show, I think, this isn't the Kyle Shanahan show anymore. Andy Reid, I respect you, but I've got the roster again. I've got weapons.
Well, and another
Another
thing
year
too to the
Stafford.
roster, like not even offensively, but like when you look at defensively, Jared Verse and Fisk, like going first round and second round right away and going, we need to shore up this Aaron Donald problem. We'll go get two guys that did the one guy's job. Like instantly, you're like, these guys fucking get it. Like they're looking for hungry dudes to get after you. Dude, I'm excited about the Rams.
Yes.
Okay, I tried to find a way to not have the Falcons win the division.
I
but
did
it's
too.
like-
we all did.
I
we all
tried
did.
to.
We
There's
tried so
Falcons, there's
hard.
no way.
Nah.
Plus, they have the easiest
Saints-
schedule on paper too.
That's the I went and looked schedule for schedule between Tampa and Atlanta. It's not even close.
Yeah,
like
Tampa's
it's
kinda
not
fucked.
even close.
Well, it's because Tampa won it last year, so they're
Correct.
obviously going to have the harder schedule. And Atlanta was dog shit. So Kirk Cousins, by the way, if you don't get to the playoffs this year, you should be cut.
Well, this is a classic situation that Vikings fans are familiar with. with when you give, hey, this is it. All we need is the quarterback as the final piece.
Don't.
And of course, they'll find some way, I'm sure, to underachieve. But
Don't.
okay, wild card teams, Niners get in, but it feels like the Niners are coming down the mountain a little bit. Lions get in. And with the 7th spot,
Here it is. Chicago
Bears.
I knew it. I knew it. Oh, I knew it.
I've been
Dude,
skeptical.
I know, man.
The organization, I don't know if Matt Eberflus is the guy long term, but
I don't think so.
I think Caleb Williams might throw 17 interceptions this year, but
He's going to look great doing it.
He might throw 30 touchdowns.
Yeah,
All right, it
exactly.
might be
He'll
might be
double.
17 interceptions with 34 touchdowns.
He's going to double his interception rate, so who gives a shit? That's when the offensive lineman literally, when it sees it get caught by the team, goes, fuck it. I mean, he's going to throw a couple, right? I got to earn my check.
So they're going to be kind of all over the place, but I'll say Bears sneak in with 9 wins. That means out for me. Cowboys are out.
Yep.
I have a bold take on that.
Oh, yeah.
I love Booney's Seahawks. I thought you were going to put the Seahawks in. I wanted
tried,
to.
dude. I know. They look
we'll
really.
see. New
I'm going to be
coaching
serious.
staff.
Geno Smith, I'm not kidding you. He looked really good in the preseason. I really enjoyed watching, like, for the last couple years, and I've obviously played with Geno it was a quick minute, but, like, I love the guy to death, and I have no malice towards him, but for years I was like, yeah, it's just a little bit of a disconnect. Like, it's in his throws. It's either too far, it's too close, it's this, it's that, but then I watched that last game, and he's kind of been like, hey, I want some more money, and I'm like, all right, prove it, and he did.
I think Smith and Jigba is going to have a huge year.
Dude,
Yes.
I think you pair him with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, like that wide
Walker
receiver
in the
core.
backfield.
That wide receiver core is going to be nasty. And here's the thing that happened last year too. There's 2 starting tackles were out. Like, I think they only started to combine like 4 games together last year. Like Charles Kloss and Abe Lucas both were hurt like all year. They had like 8 different tackles swinging in and out of the thing. So if those 2 guys can stay healthy up front, then we're in business.
Okay, AFC.
There we go.
Division winners. Give me the Chiefs, obviously.
Houston.
I think Joe Burrow takes back what's his in the AFC North.
Nice.
Okay,
I'll take the Bengals. I'll take the team that was 8-3 before the ankle injury that everyone is dismissing, the Jacksonville
Jets.
Jaguars.
Oh.
To win their division.
Over Houston.
Wait. Okay, hold on. What?
Yeah. First of all,
What?
we're very quick. We're very quick to assume Houston is going to. The NFL is.
I'm not
linear,
quick to
and
assume.
that
I watched their
they're
preseason.
for sure going to take us 2 steps forward.
Did you see
What
the
did you just
preseason?
do with What did you just do with Green Bay?
Did you
just
see
did
the
exact
no?
same thing with Green
Did
Bay.
you see
It's a
the
different team.
preseason? Did you see how they just the ball went like this? The whole camera like didn't even stop moving the entire time. Like the whole sideline camera just
offense
kept
is
going. They were
moving
moving
up.
so fast. I'm not even fucking kidding you. I was watching and I was like, "This is the sexiest
I'm sorry.
offense."
Did I
I've seen.
say? Did I say
I'm sorry.
Houston was winning 7 games or something?
No, you just said that the
How about
team
this?
that we both.
Jaguars 11 wins, Houston 11 wins, Jaguars tiebreaker. Does that make it better for you guys?
They're not going to win 11 games.
Houston's going to be good, but
yes.
second year, could there be a sophomore slump for C.J. Stroud?
Staking a beer right now.
Stephon
Staking
Diggs gets a
beer
little
right
mouthy
now.
on the sideline.
Staking a beer right now.
On Jaguars winning division.
Jaguars winning the division. We both have Houston.
I'll
okay.
gladly.
Oh,
for sure.
yeah.
Put it on
okay,
the
straight
board.
up.
Put it on the board. Put it on the board.
Put it on the board.
Oh, J.D. Hoyts. Here we go. Mackie always takes him to J.D. Hoyts.
No, this is Manny's material. This is Manny's material right now.
Are you really you're gonna stake your claim on the fucking
I love
Jaguars?
this. By the way, I got to shout out one of my buddies, Toby. Toby, he's a loyal listener to the show. Sent me a picture the other day of him with a steak and a beer shirt. Bought it off the website. He loves the steak and a beer bet. Toby, shout out to you, my man, loyal listener. I hear the Nebraska Sportsman Foundation as well. He's on the board with me. Great dude, savage.
Toby, you son of a bitch.
You wonderful human, you.
I am so excited right now.
All right, I can't wait for that steak.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
I
eating
can't wait
steak
either.
for days off you two.
Okay, we'll see.
By the way, wait, I'm kind of hedging here with my Bears. I see Alex. Alex has a steak and a beer against us with Bears making playoffs, but I'm hedging a little there.
Here we go. We're fine.
I might have to negotiate my.
Oh yeah, I remember my bets. I'm not an
wait for
idiot.
that
If I bet they're going in, I'm putting them in my fucking list.
So Chiefs, Dolphins, Chiefs, Bengals, Jaguars. I have the Dolphins winning the division, and I'm
Gross.
only like 50% sure on this. I think they start hot. They've got weapons. They've got track meet, a bunch of home games early, 3 home games in the first 4 weeks. Where I get nervous is they can't win in cold weather, and yet they play at Green Bay on November 28th. They play at Cleveland on December 29th, and at the Jets on January 5th.
Yeah, it's gonna be
those
cold
are
for 'em.
three guaranteed cold weather games. But I think they rack up enough wins. And then wild card teams: Texans, Ravens. I wanted to do the Chargers thing here so badly, but
You can't, dude. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't.
it's so
I'll
hard
call
with
you
that
insane.
roster, man.
Yeah, in the preseason tape, the way it was,
But
like
Jim
no,
Harbaugh.
Listen, I know Justin Herbert's a lot, right? But like when I watched that game, that quarterback was like just poke the fuck out of it. You can't be the next guy after Justin Herbert. You're the next guy up. Like, dude, this is a lot. And not only that, but Herbert is hurt. And that already scares me. Dude, I've always been the same way. The minute you come to me in camp, go, something hurts, I go, we're fucked. You're already thinking about injuries.
So I won't do Chargers, but I will go Broncos.
That's
Broncos.
oh my
Yeah,
God,
dude.
I am so excited today.
Sean Payton's worst seasons of his career are 7-win seasons. And
Dude, I'm telling you.
if he can just get a little something out of a rookie quarterback on schedule throws, can they play some defense? So that means I have the Bills and the Jets both missing the playoffs.
So last week you have Bo Nix as a bust, and this week you have him taking them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
No, I have, I have
Mackie.
Sean Payton.
Make up your mind,
with
Mackie.
Jared Stidham
Oh,
taking the
that's a
Broncos to the playoffs.
sensitive find. That's a for sure. He
not a
reached in the
sensitive find.
archive and
That's not a
dug
sensitive
for
find.
something
Those
to come
are
after you.
archive. It was 7 days ago.
You said last week.
Last week,
That's
I'm just
exactly-
saying,
that's what I-
we have
dude.
Hey,
we have
this
some
is a-
consistency on
hey,
the show.
This is a
PFF.
forward-looking podcast.
I want
okay?
I
We
want
don't
some
look back.
consistency on this.
I want some consistency out of my quarterback.
Just saying. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, Jets out, Bills out. I mean, the Jets. I don't know that. First of all, that organization, something always happens. It is the bumbling, stumbling idiot of the NFL. The Bills. Here's my logic on the Bills. They needed a freaking fire chase just to make the playoffs. They had to rattle off like 5 straight wins. They were on the verge of maybe firing a coach if things went sideways for 2 more weeks. Josh Allen threw 18 interceptions with Stephon Diggs last year. I just worry. I just don't know that they're going to be able to score as many points. I think Josh Allen might be turnover prone again. So
Well, I mean,
maybe like 9 wins and
his
miss the
number
playoffs.
one receiver is a rookie. Keon Coleman is his number one weapon right now.
Yeah,
right. I think Dalton Kincaid's going to have like 100
Huge
catches
season.
this year.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think that could be like his safety blanket. Where's my Dalton Kincaid? Boom, there he is. Right. But you start saying, okay, Curtis Samuel, Sky Moore, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Right. And then Keon Coleman, like it's going to take those guys a while to get into the level that Josh had with Diggs and all of that. And I think I also worry about Josh trying to do a little too much this year with his legs and getting himself hurt. Right, because when things break down, Josh is big to like, I'll just take off and go.
Right.
But if he starts doing that a little too much this year, I worry about him possibly getting himself dinged up.
But I will say this: the one saving grace about this is their offensive line is probably as juiced as it's ever been. Like they are fucking ready to roll. They've been playing together a very long time. This whole thing is starting to kind of come together. And if they just run the shit out of the ball and do what they've kind of been doing, and maybe like you said, let Josh take a little bit off his own legs, dude, there's no way they can't take this division.
Okay, Super Bowl matchup.
Here we
and
go.
Super Bowl winner.
We'll go reverse order. You go
Jay.
first now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Snake draft. Snake
Snake
draft. Snake draft.
Okay.
I mean, it's fantasy football draft season, boys. I already had my first one.
I
May
have
or may
4
not have
ne-
taken
I have-
Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, so maybe that's why I'm
Nice
so
job.
much onto him.
You're all on the Jets. I have 4 in like a 72-hour period. I want to drink cyanide. I feel I'm not good at fantasy football. I feel like
I'm the
I
worst.
don't know. Okay. This is what I have, and as we talk through this, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I do think we get the first three-peat in NFL history. So I do think the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. And the biggest question is, who do they play? The Rams. Chiefs beat the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Wow. So
Andy
it's so-
Reid versus Sean McVay. A
Listen.
clash of titans. Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes.
It's so weird
Chiefs
you
beat the
say
Rams.
that because I have Houston against the Los Angeles Rams. Same thing. Like I think that the Rams are going to be a fucking team to reckon with this year, but I just see Houston as doing something special. And yeah, I get it. Like Kansas City's special. Dude, they are really special. And even watching them in the preseason, like, why'd you throw it behind your back? Because I was mad at them. Like, I get all that. But eventually, you're going to come up against a team that you're going to be like, shit, these dudes are really pretty talented, too. And you have to be on your shit. And I just think Houston is priming something. D'Amico has a great thing going. You watch them offensively, and they're fucking... the ball's everywhere. And you're like, man, this guy knows where he wants to go with it. You get Joe Mixon in there, and he's a tough running back, right? But then I totally forgot on the other side, you have Daniil Hunter. You have Will Anderson Jr. Like all of a sudden, you're like, shit. You do have some pass rushers. Like this whole thing just makes more sense to me, and that's why I kind of like them.
Jay,
I have Kansas City going back to the Super Bowl. Dude, they were worse
You're such
last
a
year.
bandwagoner. You will say anything
I'm not
Mackey
a
says.
bandwagoner. No, I'm not. They were worse last year than they are right now, and like they're expected not to win it again. Like they had a worse roster in 2023 than they do right now. Like it's incredible the upgrades that they were able to do. I mean, Mahomes now is like the 11th or 12th highest paid quarterback, so they have like an extra $10 million in the cap to work with. They somehow allowed Kansas City to get the fastest wide receiver that came out of the draft, who is just literally running by DBs in real preseason games. Travis Kelce was dinged last year. If he can stay healthy again like he did towards the end of the year last year, that connection's not going anywhere. Isaiah Pacheco is hitting his stride as a running back, right? He's got 2 years now, going to his third year, very comfortable in the system. Their offensive line, very good. Kingsley's going to probably start for them at left tackle. Like Creed Humphrey just became the highest paid center. There's just
you had
so
me. You had me
things.
until you said the left tackle, and you said he's a rookie. Ooh, you had
You
me.
just had the rookie quarterback
I didn't.
taking the Broncos. Shut up.
To make the playoffs? Yeah, that's not going to be. I mean, dude, I'm saying you just
I think
You're comparing
Kingsley-
teams, and they're the same thing, but the only difference is our O-line is different.
I think
Houston's
Kingsley is an upgrade from Donovan Smith.
agreed, but he's not a Laramie Tunsil, and that's what's
No, he's not.
protecting
He's
the
not,
other
but
side.
They won a Super Bowl with Donovan
But they're the
Smith.
same team. I know. I got it.
so
I'm not annoying. I'm just saying,
So
dude.
annoying.
Okay.
Can you mute
We'll
him?
see.
Anyways,
We'll see.
so I've got Kansas City going, and I have them beating the Detroit Lions.
oh,
I have Detroit.
You're
They
all over.
took it to the NFC. They took it to the championship last year. They almost had it. They didn't lose hardly anyone. Amon-Ra St. Brown's back. David Montgomery's back. Jahmyr Gibbs is a little dinged, but he'll be back. And you talk about elite O-lines. That is as elite as they come. And you talk Aiden Hutchinson going into his third year now. Right? There's so many things that are pointing in the right direction for him. Dan Campbell's going to have them. I think this team is hungry. Right? I don't think there's any like, oh, we almost made it last year fall off. I think that just made them even hungrier. And I think that they're the ones that ended up making it through the NFC to play the Kansas City Chiefs. And then Kansas City wins.
I think there's a Lions conversation here that maybe we can have more in depth before the season, maybe next week. But like, part of me wanted to, even though I have them, I think them and the Packers are they're going to be battling for that division winner spot. But do the Lions take the natural step forward, or is being the hunted such a different place for that franchise to be in? For Dan Campbell as an underdog coach and the message, and is it different for them this year? Really, like organizationally, a place that they've never been in, 50 or 60 years. Does that
Absolutely.
matter?
I mean, dude, that was kind of my transition into the NFL. We went from a team that nobody knew about to a team that was hunted, and it changes the mentality of not only the coaches but the players. Like, you have to constantly be pushing yourself as hard as you physically can because you're like, these guys are going to bring everything. And I remember Harbaugh actually explained it in a really great way. He'd be like, we're in Vegas. Like when he first got here, he'd be like, we're in Vegas right now. We're just not on the strip. Nobody really wants to watch us because we kind of suck. And he'd be like, the better you get, the closer you get to the strip. And then eventually, as we started getting winning games, he's like, okay, now we're on the strip. Now we're at the Bellagio. Now we're over here. Now we're over here. And then when we're at the Super Bowl, he's like, all right, motherfuckers, we're at the MGM Grand. Like, we're here now. And like, as you start to think about that, you're like, dude, it's so true. And I don't know.
I just don't think the Lions know any but different. Like, I think Dan Campbell has them so bought in that it doesn't matter to them if they're the hunted or if they're the huntee. Like, they are just so bought into what Dan has them going that the outside noise isn't really rattling them.
I'm not saying it's outside noise, but like when you get into games, you'll see teams are playing you way hard. Like they're like, yo, you're the best. They say you're the best. Let's
For
fucking
sure.
see. But like, no, it's not like where you go in some games and guys are like, hey man, I'm 4 weeks away from walking away from this. Those teams turn into, they say you're the fucking best, I'm going to take you out. Now, like, you just see dudes putting targets on your back. They fucking find you by the pile more. They're looking to hit you late. Like, instantly, because they're like, I'm so sick of everyone talking about how fucking good you guys are. Let's go find the weakness in this team and play them hard as shit. You're going to get everybody coming at you with their best foot. And it's, at times, it's fun. And at times, you're like, man, this is a lot. And that's why I praise Tom Brady for being able to do it for years and years and years. Because when you have a target on your back and dudes are trying to fucking kill you and you can consistently put out, that's so hard. That is because everyone's trying to find that one chink in your armor. They're watching you day in and day out, finding your formations. This is what they're running. Be based on this, this, and this. Like, everything is down to calculated science. And now all of a sudden, the minute you fuck up, people go, there it is, right there. That's the weakness. And then they just press on it. And it's like, fuck, we have to clean this up.
The thing I love about the Lions, though, is that if a team tries to do that to them, they'll just fall back on their physicality.
Which is great.
Right?
I agree.
You know, because there's so many teams that when they get caught in things, they're like, okay, we have to try and scheme something new, or we have to try and create another formation of this. Like, if someone punches the Lions in the face, they're not going to go to the drawing board and be like, what do we have to do? They'll be like, hey, let's just get back to running the ball in the A gap.
Let's run power.
Right. And that's where they can just
That's what we
rely
used to
on
do.
that.
Yeah.
Like, if you can rely on that being your, like, base foundation, then the sky's the limit for what you can and can't do.
The other thing I'll throw out about the Lions too, if you go back and just play a game, look at every Super Bowl winner, and can you describe them with one key Super Bowl winning trait? Right? Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
New England Patriots, Tom Brady. New York Giants, pass rushers. I think you could, not to simplify football to that extent, but what is the one Super Bowl winning trait that you can say, yep, that's the definable thing? And for the Lions, road grading offensive line. If they just have flat out the best offensive line in the NFL, and maybe the defense is leaky over here, maybe you don't fully trust Jared Goff, maybe this, that. Well, they've got the best 310-pounders in the NFL that can run block, pass protect, and
two really good
luck.
horses with Montgomery and Gibbs, right?
Which
two
is
really,
phenomenal.
really good horses to be able to rely on.
And that's like you guys said. Now, I agree with you. They're tough. They're not afraid of anything. I'm just saying they're going to notice it as the season goes on. People are going to start putting out way harder, giving them way more to be like, fuck this shit. But you're right. The minute somebody schemes something up, they go, let's just run duo. You guys want to be cute? We're going to run fucking duo right at you for the next 20 minutes. And then instantly the team goes, never mind. We don't want to do this anymore. Like, when you can do that, it's fucking fun.
Let me ask you this, okay? We're actually, I'm going to call a check at the line of scrimmage here. We're going to save boldest takes for next week. A little hot route. Boldest takes for next week, because I'm going to throw an alternate question, then we'll get to our MVPs. How many teams? So Colin Cowherd has a Super Bowl bubble that he said these are the teams that can win the Super Bowl in the Super Bowl bubble. What is the number of teams in your mind that you could see? Yep, that I could see that team in 2024 winning a Super Bowl. Where do we draw that line? So let's just go on. So Chiefs,
yes. Lions, yes.
I mean Lions. Well, we got to go Texans because Booney put Texans in there.
Yep. Bengals.
For sure.
I don't think you can say the Bengals aren't in their bubble because they still have.
That's
Jamar
a problem
Chase.
though, because
they still have Jamar Chase. They still have T. Higgins. Right. They still have Hendricks. They still have guys. I still think they're in their Super Bowl window for probably one more year.
Yeah, you're right. They are.
I
would say you're
think
right.
a healthy Joe Burrow puts them in the conversation for one more year. Right? Because now, but does Jamar even play this year?
Well, he came back, didn't he? He's back.
Is he back?
I thought they said he was back at practice yesterday. That's why I said, yeah, now I see that. But at the same time, don't forget, you're in the toughest division because you're going to have to walk away from Baltimore.
Baltimore
That's why it's like Baltimore could easily do it.
Baltimore is definitely in that conversation as well.
That's definitely my AFC side. Like Baltimore, Cincy, Houston, and KC. I could see those four.
Two of us have the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They have Sean McVay as a coach and Matthew Stafford. I think we have to put them in.
Yep.
For sure. I think
Philly,
you have to.
What about Philly?
See, and I have a problem with them.
I don't know if I can put
it's
Philly in.
Down the stretch. Can they keep it together during the playoffs when they're playing the hardest teams and everyone's stopping them? And are they going to be tough enough to come out and go, all right, let's go back to this, or let's stick to this?
X factor, Saquon Barkley stays healthy. Dude, he was the Giants for the last 4
he'll change the game for them if he does.
He was the Giants. You said Giants, you said Saquon Barkley. Now he's behind a top 2 offensive line.
If I said Philly,
I take a phone call, man.
You're good. You're good.
Oh, here, agent stuff.
No, you're good. You're good. Hey, if I said Mackey, if I said Philly, Detroit, Rams, and maybe San Fran, if they can pull their heads out of their asses and get some of this stuff figured out,
I would put the Niners above the Eagles in the Super Bowl pecking order.
Don't forget that.
Cowboys, man, I know they've won 12 games 3 years in a row, but just more weird vibes. Feels like a
you put the Cowboys in? I kept them out.
I don't put them in on this list.
I'm not. No.
Let me just throw a couple more teams at
Although,
you.
hey, I will say this: I'm happy that they signed CD Lamb, and when we get to our mics, I have a funny one. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think I have a Jerry Jones related mic. We can do a Cowboys thing.
That was mine.
Do you think the Dolphins can win the Super Bowl? Do you think the Jets can win the Super Bowl?
No.
Are they in our Super Bowl?
No, they're not. And I think they're great teams, and I think they can do big things, but the Jets will always be, I mean, dude, it's a dysfunctional organization. I'm sorry. And all of a sudden you got Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson fighting on the sideline, and people are like, oh, it's nothing to worry about. And I'm like, oh, really? Because I used to stand on that fucking field, and I know exactly what they're fighting about. Let me tell you something. That ain't good. And it's just, it stems from so many things for me for the Jets. Like, number one, and I'm not harping on a bad thing because I skipped the minicamp too. When he doesn't come to the minicamp and it's like, you just got on about how like this got to be about all football, and then you miss the biggest football thing in the offseason. It's like, all right, I could overlook that, but then all of a sudden you have this problems with Haason Reddick, and it's like, that's really weird thing to
Dude, real
go
quick
down.
on that, I saw a report today that there's still a chance he could, because he could just show up and this is the last year of his contract, show up, play, and then become a free agent. When he rolls into the meeting room on like Wednesday next week before week 1, what's that like? And do they just activate him for week 1? Like, how does that work?
Well, you're not just going to come sit in the meeting with us. You're going to go upstairs and you're going to have a long conversation with a lot of people in a very
But when
dark
they're making
room.
their 53, like today, he's on the 53.
No,
right?
he's not.
I mean,
You put him on the you put him on the reserve list. Did not report, and so they go on a special exemption list. But if he shows up, you would obviously, if I'm the GM, I'd pull him upstairs. He would not show up without his agent, I would hope. Like, you're not speaking for yourself on this, are you? Like, you're going to have somebody standing here to help you, walk you through this, because you just told us that we're going to pay you after not doing a fucking lick of work for us. Like, this is not going to end well. And honestly, people and my teammates used to say this all the time, that I take things too personally. It's not that it's personal. It's just the fact that you're making us look stupid right now. And this could all be resolved from you just showing up. Hell, we might have already paid you. Had you shown up and been a great leader around the locker room, and guys been like, man, this guy's great. Been like, fuck it, just pay him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we traded for him, we can pay him. It is what it is. You're just dragging out something that's so fucking stupid, in my opinion. But I think if he walked into the team room, like say I was in the room and he walked in, I'd probably start laughing. I'd be like, dude.
you don't think his teammates embrace him?
Dude, they'd definitely embrace him, but you're going to give him some shit. Like, I'm just going to be like, yo, what's that fine look like?
Well, what I don't understand though, and fine, maybe I'm missing something, but his contract expires at the end of the year, so
Yeah.
he is a free agent after 2024.
Yeah.
He has three void years, but the last year of his contract is 2024, and he's got a base salary of $14 million. So,
How old is he?
He's 20.
29?
Hold on, 30. This is his age 30 season. He's right on that line.
That's why he's doing it, because he knows the next year it's going to say 31, and he's going to be like, fuck. I mean, dude, you're making, and this is, I always fell back on this too, like when dudes are making $15 million a year, it's like, Brody, what are we bitching about? Making a lot of money to fucking play a kiddie game. Like, what are you so mad about? They're like, I want 45. You're like, well, now you're just being obsessively fucking weird. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, I don't know. I didn't really get along with shit like that, and I get why people do it, but like, when you just get traded to a team, you have to show up. You have to do the work, especially the Jets. Dude, Joe Douglas, he's like one of the toughest fucking GMs. He doesn't give a shit. You just showed up to a team with Aaron Rodgers on it. Like, dude, you are not priority number one in any fucking way. And that's why it's like, you just came in a bad situation. You should have handled this differently. And if I were you, I'd show back up today apologizing. Like, I really messed this up.
It just feels like, okay, you're probably not going to get the long-term contract that you've been seeking if it hasn't happened at this point. So, dude, go make $14 million. Go play your ass off for a team that could do something, and then go have 5 teams bidding on you if you have a
for
good season.
$20 million a year. What's the problem? Yeah, I
and
agree.
it'll be like a 2 or 3 year contract or something. So, okay,
Sorry,
we're gonna.
that was a long talk. Yeah, Jets.
No,
Jets
no,
are
no,
out.
we're good.
Jets. That's why they're out, in my opinion.
Yeah, so we basically have like 6 or 7 teams that we think collectively can win the Super Bowl.
Well, you and I we were on it. Like, you and I thinking the Chicago thing, the Denver thing. I don't know what he's thinking. Like, he gets so upset about this whole Denver thing. Like, I'm like, dude, chill out. I just got a good feeling, right? Like,
but dude, part of my logic is the exercise we did like a month ago, which is if you're just picking mostly the same teams that made the playoffs the year before, you're going to be wrong.
Oh yeah,
because there's an average of like 40 or 50% turnover. So teams are falling down the cliff.
Yep.
Other teams are surprising. Dude, so I think it was on, maybe it was Purple Daily. I don't think it was on this podcast, but we were looking at the teams last year that were like favored to win the least amount of games. The teams that were like projected to win 6 games in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them made the playoffs. The Buccaneers were a 6-win team projected. They won a playoff game. The Colts were a 6-win team. They won 9 and lost a tiebreaker to get in. And there was 2 or 3 other teams. Like there's always teams that go from 5 or 6 win projections and jump up and become playoff teams. And those are the teams that I'm trying to sniff out.
Well, not only that, but then you look at that and you go, how did they draft? What did they do in the draft? Like, did they help their cause in any way? Like, they were a 6-win team last year. Did they go out and try and improve themselves, or did they just Band-Aid some shit that's going to need to be fixed later? And I agree with you. I think Denver going out and getting Bo Nix, and I'll be the first to say it, I was never really a fan of Bo Nix because he was a system quarterback, but I just see him being, he's kind of like Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, in my opinion. When I watch them, and I know everyone's like, oh, you know, they need to fix this. They just look really comfortable. And there's something to be said about a quarterback running around, getting chased, that he just looks like he's having fun. And as an offensive lineman, I know the exact vibe that they're in where they're like, nothing's really going to hurt me. I'm just going to sling this ball down here. Like, they're almost free thinking. Instead of being robotic and running and stopping and running and all this, they're just kind of moving around. And like, when you've played with guys like that, you're like, this sky is the limit for this guy, because that's half the battle, is being able to run around while you're being chased and not panic. And I think that's a good thing, and I think they have a good defense. I'm not totally against Sean Payton. I don't agree with half the shit he says sometimes anymore, but at the same time, he's a fucking offensive genius, so I have to give him a lot of credit.
Yeah. Okay, I have an idea here. Here's what we're going to do.
Hit me.
Executive decision. So we're going to let Jay do agent things. We're going to wrap. This is part 1. We're going to say goodbye here, Booney. We're going to come back. We're going to record a part 2 with some bold takes for the upcoming season. We'll pick our MVPs. We'll even do some dumb football questions. And then we'll put that up on the podcast feed and the YouTube channel as a part 2. And then we also have a film breakdown of Drake May. For all of you wondering, is Drake May a good quarterback? You guys will break it down with some all-22 film. So we'll have essentially 3 things on the YouTube channel for
we're going big
for
today.
the online committee audience. All right.
Is the next one just going to be you and me? Is Jay coming back?
Oh, we'll push stop and we'll see what's happening.
And can I just say something? I have to respect that guy, because I could not take those phone calls. You know me, Mackie. I love being in the gym screaming.
You would
yelling,
just
sweating.
berate whoever's on the other.
Sitting there talking about like, oh, we're going to do that. Fucking. Can I punch him? Can I hit him tomorrow? All right, great. That's all I give a shit about.
Takes a special breed to be an agent. By the way, click that subscribe button and the like button on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel if you haven't already. And then on Apple and Spotify, a 5-star rating and a positive review. He's the Rhino. I'm Macadac. For our agent friend Jay, this is the O-Line Committee. Part 1.